So welcome to another Tuesday bust down. Pretty much what we're going to be looking at this week is we're going to be looking at a lot of the major pairs, just because of the fact that we have a lot of news that's going to be happening on Thursday. We got this Euro news, and then once again, my time, I have it set in Florida time or Eastern time. So if you're in Texas, just take away 2 hours. If you're in El Paso,
Hey, this nigga have his.
and then so yeah, 12:30. Then at 5:30 in the morning on Thursday, we'll have that USD news. So like I was saying, we're gonna be checking out a lot of the major pairs this week. That's what I want to be looking at. And so starting off with the dollar, one thing we could see is with the dollar, right, we've gotten this double bottom that's formed. So with the double bottom, what I'm looking for is I would like to see the dollar continue to go up some more. And so throwing this on the 4-hour chart and checking this out, if we were to take our fib just backwards a little bit, and then I'm going to take off these session breaks. I'll toss them back on right now. But checking this out, right, if we just and this just a little more back to about right here, one place that we could potentially see price coming back up to is we could see price coming back up from where it's at right here, coming up towards maybe, our 618, or even something like our 707 or the 786. And the reason why it could go to one of those 3 points is because looking in the past, right, the last time price came in rejected off of 96.4, we see price had touched our first 618, then it touched our 707, and then, price went even past the 786. So like I said, a little bit of back testing is easy to just figure out what's going to happen with the charts. Like I said, dollar's looking like it's going to be going up. So, I do expect the dollar to continue to rise. So with the dollar rising, what that means is when we look at USD XXX, we're going to say going up. Well, let me write it out correctly. Bullish. And then XXX USD, we're going to be saying bearish. So hopefully you guys know what those mean. Bullish is up, bearish is down. So this is what we're checking out when we look at some of the other pairs. So for some more of these currency pairs, right, if we start and we look at USDCAD, if we start checking this out off of the 4-hour, one thing, let me just mark this up really quick. So with what we're seeing so far, what I would do is the first thing is just looking at the daily, so I could see kind of like the overall picture. And so off of the daily, one thing that we could see is that so far, we could see that, we are going in this downward direction. So that's the first thing we could see. So as far as anything else, one thing that's very important to see is that with where we're at right here, this has been a very strong support zone all around here for this pair. So, if we go back and we just check this out, we can see that we've had multiple touches around this certain area. So looking at that, now we could probably draw some support lines and try to figure out that price there, see if it's maybe like a key level or if it's something like that. So going to the line graph, that's probably one way that I like to draw a lot of these lines, I'm going to draw a black line right there just because of these touches right here. And then another support line that I'm going to put is right there. And the reason why I put that one is because all of these touches right here. So now that we have those two lines, what we should do is, you know, round out the numbers, of course. And so by rounding them out, that's also going to help us, you know, start to really see some of these key levels in the charts. Six, make that a 5. Cool. Okay, my bad. Just had to mute some people really quick. Okay, so cool. Like I was saying, made all of these key levels. I just got to do this last one. So now that we got all of these key levels done, we could go back to the line graph. Or first, actually, I'm going to draw a fib out. And so with this fib, one thing I'm going to do is, so since I do think it's going in a downward direction, you know, I'm going to draw a fib for that downtrend. So I'm going to draw it from our key level down to here. And then one thing that I'm going to be checking out is, so with our, with where we're at on the fib, right? Looking at the 618, the 707, and the 786, these three numbers, these are pretty much always going to be TPs, more or less, whenever you're using fibs. So looking at those three numbers, we can see price is very close to touching the 618, right? Which is one of our targets. And, you know, that's what happened right there with the pair. Or, you know, this pair might go down a little bit more. And then even to right here, where price went to, that's where our 786 is at. So, you know, it just depends. We might see the dollar, since the dollar is going up right now, you know, we might see UCAD just start to actually go up from where it's at. Or, you know, like I was saying, we could see it come down to the 618, or even maybe a little bit lower. With USDCAD, this is definitely a pair that I would probably wait until the morning for, before even trying to like figure out a trade, because we get trade setups in this whole like little rectangle box right here. And then, you know, the reason why I don't really think this pair is ready right now is because this is like 60 pips of possibilities. And so, you know, I don't really like to take a trade unless I know that is for sure, or that I'm going to have a very good risk to reward setup for that trade. You know, if I am taking a trade, right, I want to see maybe no more than like a 20 pip stop loss, looking for like, you know, 60 to 100 pips. That's what I like to see. But I would not want to take this trade if I had to have a 60 pip stop loss, just because of the fact that, you know, at that point now, you know, I can't use a trade size as big. I can't use a lot size as big because I'm worried about more drawdown. So USD CAD, I don't really see nothing for the moment. USDJPY, USD is going up. So a potential area that we could see price go to, which will be very important, is this price right here, 380. So one reason why I picked this point is because we see right here, it's a resistance point, right? Price fell, touched it, came down, touched it, and then it dropped. So price is working its way back up to that point. Then also we have that touch right there. You know, if we were to go back somewhere, we could see, you know, somewhere like right there, price kind of played all around it right there. We see that touch right there, that one. And then we see price over here pretty much staying underneath it. So with this point that price is getting to, excuse me, you know, one thing that I would definitely pay attention for is just to see what price is going to do as it comes to this point. You know, we might get price touching it. We might get the rejection, and then we might get that, you know, we might get the retracement, another entry, right? We might get a W just because it's barely Tuesday. So we might get something like this, and then we get that break. You know, this pair is just, I would wait on this one too. Just like I said, guys, make sure you do pay attention to this area right here. If I see anything, you already know, I'll call it out in my group chat. But this is pretty much all that I see for USDJPY for the moment. Going to the daily time frame. You know, one thing that we could get is we could even get something like this, right? We could get a shoulder that happens. Or, you know, I take that back. That wouldn't be a shoulder. But, you know, we might even get something, like I said, like we might get price coming in 380. We might get that rejection down to here. And then, you know, we might see something like that. There's multiple points on this chart that this pair could retrace to. Let me draw some rays and I'll show you guys what I'm saying. So from right there, you know, from right there, from right there, or even like right there, price could come up and then price could come down to, like I said, hold on, let me fix this arrow. Price could come down to like here, to there, or to there, you know, before it makes its retracement back to the upside. So definitely, like I was saying, we just gotta look at this pair, look at what the DXY does. The DXY is going to be very important, you know, these next couple of days. And also, since there's news for the US dollar, you know, at 11 o'clock tomorrow, there's news. And then, you know, we also have USD news at 5:30 in the morning on Thursday. So all of that stuff is very important. Moving on to USDCHF. Well, let me go over Euro USD first, and then I'll do USDCHF, just because I like the way that they move together. So looking at Euro USD, one thing we can see is that price, this is pretty much what price has done recently. So with price doing something like this, you know, what we can confirm is that price is on an uptrend so far. So taking this into consideration, right, what we could do, excuse me, we'll go over here, line graph. And then we'll go to the line graph, and then, you know, we'll just toss up some little lines. So we could do one right there, one there. Okay, cool. So you'll know what's next already. We're going to round all these numbers out. And, you know, rounding these numbers out is something that I like to do a lot. It really helps me out as far as being able to visually see what's going on with some of these pairs. And also, you know, it's a very good practice that you guys even just want to start doing yourselves, just because of the fact that, you know, it'll help some of your fibs and help some of your charts even just start getting more accurate. Cool. Oh shit. Okay, bet. So now we got that. Turning back to here. And so the reason why I drew some of these lines from top to bottom is because we see that at the very top we have a lot of wicks, right? So we can see this area we're in. This is a spot where there's a lot of wicks, right? A lot of price hesitates around this point. And then the bottom I drew, obviously, because of the support we have. So with this pair, you know, I'll draw a fib. And so a fib that I'll draw, since I like to draw them from wick to wick, I'll actually pick, there's multiple spots you could pick, but the spot that I'm going to pick is, you know, I'll draw it from this very bottom down here, since we are going in the upwards trend. And then my 0 is going to be right here. So another example too is, right, my fib, I'm drawing it off of this whole level right here, 1.141. So this is another reason why whole levels are important. You know, we could see that where I drew it at, that's a very good spot. So I'm going to change the colors on those two lines. And then these will be, you know, where my bottom of the fib was at. And so there, and then right here, these two is the top, the 1 and the 0 on my fib. So now that we got this, you know, we could delete those and we could keep this thing going. Checking some of this out, right, we can see that for this buy situation, price already went through, it already touched the 618. Price is about to hit the 707 and it's consolidating. And so it looks like it's just still going to keep going up, right? I would like to see price come all the way up to the 1. And so pretty much right now, you know, it's just all we can do is look in the past a little bit and try to see what price has done and what price is doing. So, you know, checking some of this out, right? One point that we could check out that I just seen real quickly by back testing is this area right here. So with what price did over here, price, this where it started out in the bottom, this is the same spot where price started out currently, and then this is where it's going. So just, that's what I wanted to show you guys. And then as we scroll back and we check it out, right, we can see price started right there. And then look, see, it's on the same line as where this is. So with this last impulse, we can see prices pretty much did the same thing. We had an impulse from here all the way up to our, I think this is 618, and then look, see, oh no, this is the 707. And so see, price had that impulse move from here to here, right? We're seeing price, you know, consolidate a little bit. And so for TP2, I would like to see price come all the way up to here. And so that's almost to our 1. So, you know, with EURUSD, that would be another like 60 pips, but with the strength of the dollar. So that's why we use something like this to check out what's going on. And so the USD has a little bit more strength than the euro does at the moment. You could tell that by this little highlighted thing right there, how it says euro against USD against euro, 0.23%. So what that's saying is that, you know, the strength between the euro and the USD is favored towards the USD. So I'm gonna drop this in the chat as well for you guys if you guys want to see that. DXY well, you could unmute yourself, bro, and then ask me. I got you. So we'll hop back on UCAD if you have any questions for that. But yeah, Serge, if you got a question, you can unmute yourself, brother. Like I was saying, so with this pair right here, Euro USD, you know, pretty much I'm thinking that we're seeing strength in the euro. You know, Euro NZD is a buy setup as well for the moment. So, you know, we could be seeing, like I was saying, we could be seeing the buy setup continue to happen. But for the moment, you know, I don't really know what I'm seeing in Euro USD. So I don't want to kind of say too much about it, but for sure, I see this pair going up another 40 pips. I see it going, and I see it hitting my 786. So that's what I see for that pair. Now moving on to GU. So with GU, you know, we can start out on the daily for this pair. I'm looking at the daily. One thing we can see right off the top of the bat is where it's at, right? Was a little, there's a little resistance zone right here. You know, we can see these 3 pins. Then, you know, the price did break past it once. So one thing we can do is we can hop on a bigger time frame like the weekly. But, you know, I don't really see anything as far as any patterns forming up. So sticking on the daily, so we could just check this out a little bit more. You know, we seeing with these 3 candles right here that we've had a strong push to the upside, like a very strong push, and especially with this last daily candle. So right now, if we just take what these 3 candles are showing us, is it's showing us that GU is on a strong impulse move up still. So areas we can look for GU to come to would be, you know, pretty much what is did like right here. You know, I know this is a very big box, but, you know, I'm not trying to like give you guys an exact description right now what it's doing. I'm just saying that like price can test here, price could test here, price could test here, price could test right there. So you know it has so many levels it could test, right? So with this pair for the moment, you know, like I said, it is on a clear indication that this thing is still going up. That's just off of the daily time frame. You know, one thing we could do is we can hop down to like the 4-hour. And so, yeah, even on the 4-hour, you know, this thing is showing us even stronger confirmation, right? It went up, price came down for the pullback, came up. Price is relaxing right now, and we're probably going to continue to get that move. GBP news, I think that already happened. Yeah, so, you know, there's just USD news, but 1 a.m., 6:30. Yeah, so GBP news already happened. But yeah, so, you know, like I was saying, this pair still looks like it's going to continue to be going up. Let me check the comments real quick, because I think somebody had a question. TD Ameritrade software. Oh, yeah. So with what Francisco put in the chat, basically, Thinkorswim, it's just another, it's pretty much another way to mark up your chart, kind of like what TradingView is. But, you know, it's not something where like, there's no differences really between the two. It's just another charting platform. So, you know, TradingView will get the job done just like that'll get the job done. You know, you don't need to switch teams or anything like that. But so with this pair, right, I'm going to mark up for the uptrend because that's what I'm seeing. So wick to wick, we can see, look, this pair is already, it hit the 618 off of the fib. So like I was saying, we could pretty much see our 618, 707, and the 786, you know, also get smacked. So with this pair, you know, I do expect it to actually come up to the 0 which is probably what will happen. So, you know, pretty much a lot of the moves that we're checking out, these are already they already happened. I would like to look for a buy limit, anywhere down here if we can get it. Right, just like that. Just like that had a little pullback. Just like this had a little pullback. If you could get a pullback, definitely hop in that buy, just because of the fact that with this pair, even from where it's at right now, for sure another 70 pips. TP2 could be 100, TP3 could be 140. So you know what I'm saying? For sure, look for that pullback setup around 1.32. So extend this out just a little bit. And then let me show you guys a trade setup that I'm looking for. So if we hop in that trade at 1.32, 20 pips stop loss for, even if we put it at 786, we can see that we're risking 22 pips for a 96 pip TP. So definitely, like I said, I think this is probably the trade setup I'm going to wait for. 1.32 with 1.302 is where I'll probably be looking to enter, somewhere around there. Chad, what pairs do you trade mostly? Okay, so what's good with you, D Curry? Nah, but pretty much mostly, bro, what I trade is just what's in these charts right here. DXY, UCAD. I like to trade the majors, bro. All of these have the USD in them, so it makes it very easy to trade them. Just another thing too is, since we live in America, it's really easy to hear about. Cool. What's good with you, York? Francisco, I got you on your questions, bro. But I like to trade major pairs since we live in America. It's really easy to turn on the news and hear what Donald Trump's doing. So trading's easy being in America.
Fuck that guy.
But AUDUSD, guys, I'm looking for this buy setup to happen very soon. What's forming is, what I would like to see form is a flag setup. So, with the flag setup, right, one thing we could see is price could come down to let me turn this to a line graph. So, we have the little flagpole, right? Then we got the first touch. Then we got, this second trend line on the bottom. Price could come to anywhere in here. I'm looking for price to come in between, these 2 points. So, and 0.715 is where I'm looking for the sells at. The buy at point. There we go. Can't say I didn't feed the fam. Cool. So this is what I'm looking for. 0.715 for sell limits. So that's what damn, my bad, buy limits. Giving y'all the wrong directions. But yeah, so around 715 for buy limits. Even with a buy like this, look, where's my long tool? Even if we take the trade right here, stop loss. Put the stop loss back. Hop to the 4 hour. Like I was saying, even if we had a stop loss down here, a 10 pip stop loss, right? TP1 is like 30 pips. TP2 would be 67. So, this is a pretty fire trade if you ask me. Your risk to reward is 6. So that's pretty much like the bust down of the night, GU and AU. I think that's what I'm going to be looking at. So if I think gold's going up, well, if I think AUD is going up, then pretty much, I'm saying the same thing about gold. Gold's just been going crazy lately. Gold could definitely reach these points up here, right? So this is something that, we could definitely see, but for gold to reach up here, that means that the dollar needs to drop. So, we got to see what happens. Yes, I am on the weekly time frame right now, but I was just showing you that overall it does look like it's bearish. Even on the 4-hour, I mean, this thing still looks bearish. So, we could see price just falling for a little bit and then, might find some support and then continue to keep going on its way up. It just depends on what the dollar is going to do. 100%, guys. Definitely, I do hope that the dollar comes up to any low. Well, I think it's going to go up, but, like I was saying, for sure, I think it's going to hit our 618, 707 or the 786. And so if price does do that, then, like I was saying, USD buys and then XXX USD sells. But another thing price could do too is price could come up and then get rejected, like right here, kind of like what happened there, what happened here, what happened there. So, it's a lot of things that can happen with the dollar. But, what I'm looking for is I want to see this happen. I want to see price come up to like the 707 or something, just because of, some of these wicks like that. And then also, hopefully we'll see, good dollar news this week. But other than that, another trade I was looking at was EURUSD. You check this out. I was looking for the buy setup in EURUSD. Pretty much with this pair, we are in that uptrend. I'm already in a buy right now. Let me draw that better. Let me draw that a whole lot better. My bad. So we're in the uptrend, right? We can see that, we got the 2 touches from the bottom right there. And so probably delete that one. With right here, we can see that price needs to fill. Price looks like, it's going to hit our 786, 707, 618 as well. I'm going to buy for EN to see at 0.66. Yeah, exactly, bro. So look, see, my 1 is almost at our 0.66. So exactly, we're pretty much seeing the same thing. Salute to you, Serge, for being in that buy setup. But yeah, he's pretty much saying it's gonna go up to about there. I would still say you could buy it right now. Your stop loss is 33 pips. You're looking to make 60 to 100. I wouldn't take that trade, but if you're thirsty, you could definitely jump on that trade. We got less than a minute on here. Thank you everybody for hopping on to another Tuesday Bust Down. Salute to you guys for hearing me talk for 30 minutes. But yeah, have a good week, everybody. Happy trading, and let's make a bag.